Hello, welcome back to another episode of Locked In.
You guys been doing a great job. I kind of disagree with your co-host over here.
He's Sam Rodriguez.
Anything went. It was like WWE. And now it's like kindergarten.
I'm Megan Holden. As long as he's healthy, he's shown he could be back to a Pro Bowl type level QB. And today we got an interesting episode for you guys.
You're gonna come at me a lot harder, bro. Try to knock me.
Well, we're going to be covering the Patriots' latest signing of quarterback Cam Newton, which I personally don't think is going to make a difference, but Megan's probably going to have some other ideas.
Oh, it's definitely going to make a difference.
Then we're going to be discussing Gary Payton's comments about his era being a lot better than this era, which again, we're going to have different views on.
All right, now on to under the radar NFL news. Cowboys' Dak Prescott agreed to sign the franchise tender for $3.14 million. They have until July 15th to reach an extension. Still waiting also is Chris Jones from Kansas City. He's actually threatening to hold out if he doesn't get an extension. And Zach Barrett, linebacker from Buccaneers. Also in the news, Jamal Adams is demanding a trade from New York Jets. He's not happy there. And one of his top shooters is Dallas Cowboys. He's even willing to take a table extension to be with the Cowboys. Also, Seattle and Ravens have expressed interest in Antonio Brown. They have been talking about it behind doors. Despite rumors, Buccaneers are not one of those teams. Bruce Arians denies the rumors that Antonio Brown will be going to the Buccaneers. Talking about wide receivers, Ten Jin believes Mitch Trubisky is going to be the QB for the Bears. Let's hope for his sake he's wrong. NFL EVP Troy Vincent says that teams will receive anti-racism training in July. Former 49er guard Mike Person retires. Last time he played was in the Super Bowl. Arizona governor has announced that he doesn't want 50-plus gatherings for the next 30 days. Training camp is less than a month away. So that might be a problem for the Arizona Cardinals. They might have to come up with another solution there. Lastly, Patriots in the news a couple times this week, but also for early last season against the Bengals, they were caught filming the sideline of the Bengal sideline. They claim it was B-roll for their documentary. Early in the offseason, they were having trouble connecting it, but they did get punished for it. They lost a third-round draft pick. They got $1.1 million fine, and also the senior officials of the Patriots have to go through training. All right, now turn to Sam for the NBA Under the Radar news.
All right, so the New York Knicks once again hire a brand new vice president, Worldwide West, and he has an association with Devin Booker, which is leading rumors to Devin Booker going to the Knicks when his contract runs up. Then you have the Lakers. Avery Bradley is not coming to Orlando because of his family, and they signed J.R. Swish.
J.R. Swish?
J.R. Swish. With his recent troubles with LeBron James. Let's see how they're going to pair out.
I had flashbacks to the Warriors game.
Yeah, don't talk about that.
Too soon. Okay.
Then you got Spencer Dinwiddie saying that he believes he can lead the Knicks to the playoffs, which is a hot take. Don't think that'll happen. It's going to take a lot more than him to do it. Then you got, speaking on him, the Nets. Are they even going to have enough players to compete in the return of the playoffs? DeAndre Jordan can't play. He just tested positive for COVID. Kevin Durant's still out. Kyrie Irving's still out. Is it still worth it? I believe the Wizards can beat the Knicks now, and that's saying something.
They might have to extend that DeAndre Williams contract that they just let up after so many years.
They're going to have to.
Hey, you should try to shoot your shot. I mean, you get a free shot at Disney. Why not, right?
Exactly. They're going to have to sign someone.
And today we have a special guest, 11-year veteran in the United States Navy performing in Navy medicine, a personal fitness trainer, motivator, and the voice of Bristol Community College Bayhawks athletic program. And a future occupational therapist, we welcome David Cardoza to the show.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to be here with you guys. You guys have been doing a great job. I kind of disagree with your co-host over here. We'll get to that later in the show. I've seen his top 10 quarterbacks. I don't know, buddy. You better go back to the drum.
To start off, we're gonna ask you a trivia question. Ask you and the fans, viewers. Sam, what do you got for them?
All right. Boy. So my question is, the Atlanta Falcons quarterback, Matt Ryan, what college did he come from?
Oh, my God. Come on, guys. What do I look like? An amateur? Pretty sure he went to Boston College.
All right.
Boston College. Boston College Eagles, 2008. I think he had a great year, and he had a great year there in his senior year. I think he was in the top 3 in the Heisman voting that year.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, Matty Ice.
Matty, yes, I tried to tell him that last show. You didn't want to hear it.
You gotta come at me a lot harder, bro. You try to knock me.
All right. Now to begin our show, we're going to talk about topics. One thing that got me amped up, I'm sure everyone heard of it by now. Patriots signed Cam Newton to a $1.5 million deal with incentives that can go to $7.5 million. What do you think the move signing Cam Newton means to the Patriots and how it affects the AFC?
Changes everything. I mean, like this whole spring, this whole summer, you're thinking Patriots are going to go into the season with Jarrett Stidham, who threw 4 passes last year. One of them was a pick six.
Yeah.
And Brian Hoyer, who this is his 3rd stint on the Patriots. Like, there's no way that this was going to happen. I almost thought it was going to happen because Cam Newton's been lingering. He's been lingering out there all off season. I think this was part of Bill Belichick's plan. Cam Newton, he's just been out there, and no other teams have been biting on him. So Bill Belichick took his time. He waited for the market to settle, and just like Bill Belichick always does, he wins in the end. He knows the market.
If he wins the competition, a starter QB, especially Cam Newton when he's healthy, for $7.5 million is a steal. We talked about why he didn't really get much interest was because COVID-19, he's not really able to go to facilities, work out, and train. So I think that also impacted everything. And I thought it was pretty smart of him doing those workout videos.
He's in great shape.
The only thing is, like, his shoulders healed up. It was just that foot injury that had a question that held him back 2019. 2018, he had a great season. People forget about it because Carolina kind of fell off towards the second half of the season after he got injured. 67 completion percentage, one of his best QBR rates at 94.2. As long as he's healthy, he's shown he could be back to a Pro Bowl type level QB. I doubt that Belichick was going to go into the season with Jarrett Stidham. You can even call him a rookie quarterback because he didn't really play last season. In a short off season because they didn't get OTAs. I really doubted that he was going to go to Jarrett Stidham, hand him the keys with no competition with his first year without Tom Brady. I think he's like Tom Brady. He wants to prove he can still win. And I feel like Cam Newton gives a better chance to do that with his accolades, former MVP, former Rookie of the Year, multiple Pro Bowls. And Jarrett Stidham, I mean, he had last year he had a horrible year at Auburn. He, like you said, the first throw in his NFL career was a pick six. And his only competition was Brian Hoyer, who hasn't done nothing in the league. So this is a win-to-win scenario. If Jarrett Stidham beat Cam Newton, he's proven that he can be a successful starter caliber QB. If he loses, now we have Cam Newton, a successful starter QB, as our starter. It's a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, a lot of people don't like this signing, but how could you not? I mean, Cam Newton, like you said, he's a former MVP. Obviously, the last couple of years, a lot of injuries. But when you have Cam Newton, you have someone that of his caliber, someone that is a dual threat. I mean, Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels are chomping at the bit. There's so many possibilities with this guy. If he's obviously he's focused, he's going to be motivated. Look at all the teams that have needed a quarterback that have passed on Cam Newton.
Yeah.
There's got, you said, on the text message earlier, he's going to have a huge chip on his shoulder. His workout videos, his hype videos, it all shows it. The guy is in amazing condition. I know none of that. I mean, he's in great physical condition. I know none of that's going to matter when. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be how he plays in the field. But you got to be fascinated to see what Josh McDaniels is going to have planned for Cam Newton. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It turns the whole thing around. The Patriots went from being a possible 5-win team, 6 team, maybe 8-8 to AFC East. I mean, they're the best team in the AFC, and they got the best quarterback in the AFC. So
before we go to Sam, I just want to bring up two things that people denounce. Two things people always bring up. Oh well, he's all about him, his attitude. Both his locker rooms in Auburn and the Carolina loved him. So I'm not really buying into that. He played injured for his team, and people say he's not going to fit the Patriots system. Last couple of years, Cam Newton's become more of a pocket passer, and their passing for the Carolina is a little bit similar to Patriots, believe it or not. And Patriots are going to fit. They go based off strengths. So they fit the system based off Brady's strengths. They can change the system and fit off Newton's strengths. But Sam, how do you feel about the move before we go into the AFC? How it affects the AFC?
So Cam Newton should have been picked up a while ago, but there's plenty of teams that could have used him. You have the Bears. They have Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. I mean, Cam Newton's better than both of them. You have the Browns. He's better than Baker Mayfield. So the Pats kind of did come off winning on this end. It's just a matter of how he's going to fit into the system. You said they fit to their strengths. It's just, is he going to try going back to running the ball? I hope not, because that's when he started getting injured and stuff. He's been a good pocket passer. He's a big guy. He's quick. And it's just, how is he going to fit into that system? If he fits into their system, I hate to say it, I really do. They're not going to be touched, really, because Tom Brady was towards the end of his career, and Cam Newton's just getting there, where he's gonna thrive. And if he is fully healthy, as he's showing, they're gonna be kind of unstoppable, and I'm kind of scared. But because Cam can either fit into the system and thrive completely, or he can completely bust in the system. But they got him for a steal and a half, so I mean, why not risk it?
I feel like everything will depend on a Patriots offensive line, they have a great starter. They have great starters. It's the depth that scares me. As long as the Patriots offensive line stays healthy, I think Cam will stay healthy, and I think the offense will do better than last season, I know it's not saying too much, but I feel like Cam will do better with those young wide receivers than Brady did, given their trust.
But like you said, Megan, the Patriots, Tom Brady last year, I don't want to say he gave up, but he gave up working. He was just so frustrated with the younger receivers, Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers said last year, he was scared to disappoint Tom Brady, scared to run the wrong route, scared to drop the pass. That's no way to play. When that affects your game, then affects your confidence that your quarterback is so on you, and that you're afraid to make a mistake, because if you do, TB12, Mr. 6-time Super Bowl champion is going to phase you out. And that's that. I think you're going to see guys like Jacoby Myers and N'Keal Harry hopefully thrive in this offense. And Cam Newton, not only is he a good quarterback, not only is he going to help the passing game, he's going to help the running game. Because Cam Newton presents a threat that the Patriots have never had in their history. The Patriots have never had a running type of quarterback, a guy as athletic, a guy that can throw on the move, a guy that can, he can make a broken play and turn it into a lot of something. So, defenses have to worry about that now. Defenses are so used to Tom Brady and that precision type, methodical, short passing game. Now you have Cam Newton that you have to worry about. When there's a broken play, he could turn a broken pass play into a 50-yard run if he's healthy. So, that's huge for the Patriots. And it's going to help Sony Michel. There's going to be so much more deception there, and there's going to be so much unpredictability. You can't predict what the Patriots are going to do, especially when you haven't seen film. Other teams haven't seen film on this new Patriot offense. It's friggin' exciting.
Before we go to the next topic real quick, people overlook Cam Newton's IQ too. He's great at manipulating defenses and reading defenses. We love that mic up clip that we see, on Twitter of him calling out, I believe it was
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews. And also, he's used to working, besides Steve Smith, he's used to working with lower level wide receivers. Before me and David talk about how it's going to rank them to the AFC, where do you rank them? How do you think this impacts the AFC? Where do you rank the Patriots? Go ahead, it's okay. They're above your Broncos.
I had the Bills winning it before, but now I kind of have to go with the Pats winning it, because Josh Allen still hasn't proven himself yet. They did add Stephon Diggs, but it's just a matter of how he's going to do in the offseason. Because Josh Allen has the weapons to thrive and get to the AFC winning. But it's a matter of Cam Newton versus him.
Yeah.
I'd take Cam Newton over Josh Allen.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'll take Cam Newton's jersey over Josh Allen.
Josh
Allen. Huh?
I said, of course you would.
Yeah, Josh Allen's last two, I feel like, honestly, him and Mitch, I even say him, to me, is the worst QB in the league. His last 2 seasons is awful. And just because he went from really bad to still bad is not doesn't make him a good QB. I think that the surrounding pieces are great, but when it comes to defense, the Patriots were better already. And it comes to the Patriots ranked number 1 defensively last year. Then you have the coach, obviously Bill. And then the offense, again, I feel like the QB is the one who really dictates how well the offense does the most. So I'll take, like you said, I'll take Cam Newton over Josh Allen. Now the whole AFC as a whole, I put them around that 3 to 5 spot. They're for sure not above Ravens or Kansas City. They have more of a strong offense, more sure things. But I do put them ahead of Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, still has to prove more to me, especially after the playoffs. I put them ahead of, let me see, I put them obviously ahead of Bills. I just discussed that. Pittsburgh, I feel like they got a lot of question marks, especially with Big Ben's injury. They have a lot of injuries. And then I put them ahead of, who else was in that conversation? Texans. I feel like Bill O'Brien and that team probably not. There's going to be some tension there.
I think outside of Baltimore and Kansas City, I mean, those two are the class of the AFC. I figure after that, I mean, it's a free for all.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep, it really is.
But to Sam, what is the next topic for today?
All right, so we have some comments made by Gary Payton saying that in his era they had better players than in this era. How do you feel about that?
So to remind people, Gary Payton played from 1990 to 2006-2007 season. So I feel like that's also two eras itself. Like one was like with MJ Pimpin, you got Dennis Rodman, you got Patrick Ewing, you got John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Sack, and then another one was with Kobe, AI, Jason Kidd, LBJ, even though that's more towards later in his career, Nash. So I feel like I'm kind of split on this because I feel like it depends on what you're talking about. I feel like the players were better with defense. I believe the players were tougher. There's more competition. They were better with fundamentals. But I feel like the players today are more skilled. Like, you see big man shooting at 3-point line. You know, Kyrie, you don't really see back then what Kyrie was doing with his handles. I feel like the players today are more skilled and more athletic. And the players during Gary Payton time was more tougher and competitive. Because the different eras, you know, fouls and all that stuff, I think made it that way.
I'm an old cat, so I grew up in that era of basketball with, you know, Michael Jordan and, you know, like the whole 90s basketball. I mean, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, like you said, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Akeem Olajuwon. Back then, it was a different game. Players didn't take the amount of threes that they do now. Now everybody shoots a three, one from the point guard to the center. I mean, you got everybody on the court. It's more of a spread game now. These guys, I think these guys these days, up and down, I mean, guys are more athletic. Guys are jumping out the gym. Not that they did it back in the day, but everybody is just so wiry and so athletic and so skilled. The big men are so much more skilled, I think, back when they were in the 80s and 90s. It was such a different game back then. You don't see the post game like you did back in the 80s and 90s. You didn't see, like now, you don't see so much like guys go into the post. Guys are either taking it's either a 3-pointer or it's a dunk, you know, and the rules were different. You seen the Michael Jordan, the Last Dance documentary. You can literally knock someone out of the air and basically clothesline them. LeBron, back in the 80s or 90s, he would think twice about driving down, you know, maybe just driving down the lane because, you know, someone like Charles Oakley or maybe Dennis Rodman back in the day would just be knocking him to the ground. Those bad boy Piston teams, they were out for blood, you know. So Michael Jordan himself said he had to get tougher, he had to get stronger.
I know Sam's boiling right now after that LeBron James comment.
It's hard to measure different eras since we'll never be able to actually see how it would happen. So we can have the conversations all day about, oh, the 60s are better than the 70s or 90s better than 2000s, but we'll never be able to actually witness it. Because right now, the 2010s and up, players now, you have like Kevin Durant, probably going to be one of the all-time best scorers. 7-foot freak. Like, that's all I can really say about it. That man is unstoppable. Then you got like Giannis, you got Steph Curry. Like most of them, like Giannis is learning to shoot threes now too, because that's the NBA now. It's mostly threes. There's not try like Shaq in the post, like bodying everyone or going in. It's mostly just shooting. So it's hard to compare the two when they're two completely different types of basketball. Because you could say you do a match, 90s versus 2000s, it'd be threes against posts. Like in reality, like we attacking each other. The 90s, they're more aggressive than how it is right now. Like, we still have defensive players like Klay Thompson and all them, but it's not as aggressive because they're not allowed to be. Back then, like you were saying, the Pistons could just clothesline you. Bill Laimbeer would like step on you, like anything went. It was like WWE. And now it's like kindergarten. You blow in someone's ear, you get kicked out of the game. That's
Basically,
the only way to explain it. If they were played the same way, like same aggressiveness and ruthlessness, then maybe you can compare it. But since the rules have all changed and such, you don't know how players would thrive in different eras.
So, Sam, thank you. You just basically admitted that LeBron is playing in the kindergarten era of the NBA. It's like the G-rated.
I'm gonna say this though, like
Can't lie.
if you would have asked me this, if Gary Payton would have said this a couple, like I'll say probably about 5 years ago, when the East was like piss poor, it was really like the NBA was, I feel like, was not a good spot a couple 5 years ago, I would agree with him. But now, before, like, we've seen a lot of one-way players, there's a lot of shooters, but they didn't really do much else. Now you're seeing a lot of two-way players. You're seeing a lot of guys take over. You're seeing, Kawhis. You're seeing the Giannis's. You're seeing the Tatums. I feel like it's more debatable. Back then you had defense, and they also were tough offensively. And then with this league, I feel like I get the fact that it's softer, but I feel like to be a better NBA player, you got to play both sides. So I feel like now it's more of a debate today than it was a couple years ago.
A couple years ago, the East was nothing. It was like the All-Star games, completely nothing. LeBron ran the East. Now there's actually competition. When Kawhi switched over, the Raptors even now are still thriving. The Celtics have young stars. The Nets got KD and Kyrie. Like next season, you don't know how that's going to be. It's starting to even out more.
You got Zion,
exactly.
You got Ja. The NBA is in a good space right now, I feel like. They're definitely in a good spot.
4th of July, guys.
Yeah.
4th of July.
Yankee Doodle Dandy over here. Let's have a happy 4th. Be safe. Don't set up too many fireworks. And if you do, just don't get caught.
I would say they already started with that. But thank you, David, for coming on our show. We appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for tuning in our show. Comment below of what you guys think we should cover next or thoughts on the show. Get into the debate. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook in the links below.
We're this close to having sports, so hopefully in a few weeks we can actually be talking about some actual games. We're going to be on sports. Baseball starting July 23rd, July 24th. NBA at the end of the month. NHL. It's going to be like sports galore. We're going to have so much sports, we're not even going to know what to do with ourselves.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.